صاف in Nahu and so forth. And then at the end it merely turned into an intellectual debate more than it was an emotional one. So people now accepted these differences and understood that sometimes these differences, especially when it comes down to tafsir, can be very useful and beneficial, because it allows us to give a larger meaning to verses in the Quran instead of just sticking to one possible grammatical possibility. And we will have a look at this inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, as you see, this language is a very large language, and at the very beginning, especially in particular, the non-Arabs were the ones that focused on language and laid the fundamentals of this knowledge. So now we have Imam Sibawayh and others, we have Imam al-Kisai, we have all these Qurra who were very good at Arabic, of course. And then people started facilitating and writing books that were accessible for everyone who wanted to learn the Arabic language, and especially for people who weren't raised with this language. I mean, it is very difficult to learn an entire new language when you weren't brought up with that language, because the only reason why we are able to talk the way we talk and speak the way we speak is because we were brought up with that language. We used to watch cartoons in this language, go to school in that language, hear it on the street and so forth. So merging into a society to learn a language is one of the most important things to do. And this is why very often countries exchange students so that they would learn a new language within a family, within an adapted environment. So the Arabic language is very important for every Muslim to focus on, because it is your connection to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start with, and the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. So now, Qur'anan Arabiyan la'allakum ta'qilun, Arabic Qur'an, so that you would understand that you would understand in a very precise way what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. So this is the importance of the Arabic language. So now, one of these scholars that wrote a book in Nahu is Ibn al-Ajurumiyya, a scholar from Fez. And al-Ajrum can also be said with a dhamma on the jim, al-Ajurum, or with a sukoon on the jim, Ajrum, or also with a kaf, al-Akrum, which actually means in Berber the faqir Sufi, the needy one, the needy Sufi, and so forth. So he wrote a book, but this book isn't all encompassing, as I might have already said, because it was written in a time where people still had a certain level of knowledge when it comes down to the Arabic language. So it didn't mention everything we need, and it is more a revision than a door to the Arabic language, if I am allowed to say this, because there are other books that are more suited. But as the ulama said, everybody starts with Ajurumiyya, and most likely this goes back to the pure intention that Imam Ibn al-Ajurum rahimahullah azawajal had when he wrote Al-Ajurumiyya. So what I'm going to do with you, inshallah, is I'm going with you over this book, over Al-Ajurumiyya, and of course I would like you to have some prior knowledge of the Arabic grammar, because this will allow me to go over the book as a methodology of revision. So I would like to go over it and revise it more than I want to teach it, because after this, inshallah, we are going to do the Alfiya of Ibn Malik rahimahullah azza wa jal, the Alfiya. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us energy and to subhanallah bless us inshallah and bless our time. Ameen. So he says about Nahu: الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع وأقسامه ثلاث اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى فالاسم يعرف بالخفض والتنوين ودخول الألف واللام وحروف الخفض وهي من وإلى وعن وعلى وفي ورب والباء والكاف واللام وحروف القسم وهي الواو والباء والتاء. باب الفعل والفعل أو باب علامات الفعل: الفعل يعرف بقد وسين وسوف وتاء تأنيث ساكنة والحرف ما لا يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. So he starts with explaining what kalam is, what speech is according to the Arabic or to the grammarians. It's very important to keep this in mind. The adhan, I said azan, huh? That's a very good example of how not to say it. So the adhan is here now, inshallah. So next time we continue, bi'idhnillah. I hope this was